Please forgive me. I didn't in any way mean to offend or reproach you for travelling by train. It just seems to me that we are forgetting the whole point of travel in our delight at this new way of getting ahead. Of course, it's good that distant destinations have been brought closer to us by the railway, but at the same time, it's foolish to treat the nearby as if it were no longer there, and that, in order to attain the distant, we must pass over the thousand beauties that lie between it and ourselves, simply because we can. Don't you think so? I myself have very often travelled over the Brenner Pass in a railway carriage, over a dozen times now. But only today have I learned to appreciate the beauty of this Alpine crossing, because our open Adler automobile offers the most wonderful views on all sides, and the fact that there is almost no traffic on the road running over the Brenner makes it a particularly pleasant journey by car. Just look at those cliffs, behind which even higher peaks can be sensed, and then that wonderful alpine forest. If I feel like it, I can explore and discover it all. The essence of travel is not speed, but rather freedom of movement. But the traveller in a railway carriage merely exchanges his own room for a rented cabin and, instead of gaining freedom, he gives it up. Travelling by automobile will soon become quite ordinary, you'll see. I can see no reason why it won't. Can you? Of course, I understand that a car is still too costly for most people. It would even have been too expensive for me on my modest income as a poet. The car was kindly made available to me by the August Schell publishing house, however. My account of this journey by car will be the first of its type to be published in book form in Germany. What's so special about my account? I'll tell you. Sensibility. There undoubtedly exist descriptions of longer tours in automobile magazines, but these are purely from a sporting standpoint. My journey has nothing to do with motoring because, if you're a real motorist, you know nothing of sensibility. By this I mean the state and the gift of constantly being receptive to all that affects the awareness, the ability and willingness to absorb new impressions in a fresh, intense way. By sensitive travelling, I mean travelling with your senses open and alert, turned towards every one of the phenomena offered by life and by nature. And this kind of travelling alone seems to me to be the real way to travel, one that is worthy and capable of being elevated to an art form. And I'm convinced that, in the automobile, we now have the means to cultivate the art of travel anew, and take it even further than it was at the time of the horse-drawn coach, which gave our forefathers pleasures that a railway traveller can scarcely imagine. I'll prove that with this journey. Oh, I was forgetting, you have to keep a close eye on the railway timetable. So at this point I will say goodbye, and wish you, despite all the difficulties, a pleasant journey.